You guys ever wonder what it would be like if you got to explore the great Pokemon region of Alola in reverse? Well, what does that mean? That means the Elite Four are instead your first gym leaders and vice versa, except the Alola region doesn't exactly have gym leaders or even Elite Four members. They have trial captains and island kahunas. But the YouTube algorithm demands I put gym leader in the title. So today we're doing that and reversing the order of the gym leaders, aka trial captains of Alola. What kind of chaos and absolute mayhem will we unleash if every single boss fight in Alola was reversed? Who would be the champion of this twisted lineup? Spoiler, it's not who you're thinking. So if you're ready to dive in, well then sit back, get cozy, drop a like and subscribe, and let's find out. Starting with the first gym leader, I mean trial captain, and that's Hapu. Hapu is a character that I strongly believe was inspired by the hit series Avatar: The Last Airbender's character named Toph. But alas, I digress. Hapu is a young trial captain who is grounded as a person and even specializes in the ground type. As the first challenge of Alola, she takes you on with her team of an Alolan Diglett and her ace, Mudbray, which makes starting with a fire starter a bit tougher in this challenge. But those of you who like an extra challenge will always persevere. Next up is the trial captain Nanu, who specializes in the dark type. Now, an interesting bit of trivia that many of you might not actually know is that Nanu canonically is an old acquaintance of Giovanni's, which I thought was a pretty cool tidbit. Although the exact nature of their relationship is unknown, I personally think it's because they both have a similar ace Pokemon. Speaking of Pokemon, Nanu's team consists of an Alolan Grimer and an Alolan Persian, which is the connection I think him and Giovanni share, both having a regional variant starter Pokemon. But what do you guys think? Okay, next up is the third trial captain, and that's Olivia, the rock type specialist, which is kind of funny. Funny because she's always tripping over rocks due to how clumsy she can be. However, don't let that fool you. As a trial captain, she has a unique ability to communicate with Pokemon, giving her a competitive edge that other trainers just don't have. Her team she uses is a Roggenrola, Alolan Geodude, and her ace Lycanroc, the Midnight form obviously. And with the bond she shares with her Pokemon, you'll definitely be in for quite a battle. Now we're moving on to the fourth trial captain, and that's going to be Hala, the fighting type specialist. And Hala is a traditional man who values knowledge and is often bestowing wisdom and lessons of patience to young new trainers, traveling throughout Alola. And he loves every bit of it. Uncle Iroh, anyone? Anyway, as for his team, he's got a Hariyama, a Beware, and his ace Crabominable. And this battle is promised to be a thrilling one, that's for sure. Next up is our fifth trial captain, and that's Mina, the fairy type specialist. And when she isn't helping challengers, you can often find her painting beautiful landscapes with her Pokemon. She's a free spirit whose creativity is also reflected in her battle style, both dazzling and also unpredictable. She does this with her following team of Klefki, Gramble, Shiinotic, and her ace Rabambi. Be sure to take in the scenery at this challenge because a picture paints 1,000 words. Now we're off to the sixth trial, and the captain here is Acerola, the ghost type specialist. She has a natural affinity for ghost type Pokemon, which also lets her communicate with them. She's also a huge historian who is always reading up on deep Alolan history and folklore, which kind of makes sense with her type affinity and all. Although she's young, she can be quite a challenging trial captain with her team of Sableye, Dhelmise, Alosand, and her ace Mimikyu, who is a terrifying Pokemon to go up against to say the least. Which brings us to our final trial captain, the seventh captain, and that's Sophiles. Yeah, I know Alola only has 7 captains instead of the regular 8 gym leaders, but not to worry. I have a twist at the end of the video that's gonna make up for this big time, but a bit more on that later. Now let's talk about Sophocles, who looks up to his cousin Big Mo and wants to be just like him. You see, Big Mo is actually Molane, a well-respected master trainer in Alola who has helped Sophocles learn everything he knows in order to become a strong trial captain. Sophocles' team is made up of Togedemaru, Magnezone, Electivire, Vikavolt, and his ace, an Alolan Raichu. But once you defeat the final trial captain, well then it's time to take on the 4 island elemental kahunas. But before we do that, might I remind you to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel? Chances are if you're still watching, then I've got a collection of videos that you'll love to check out, so do yourselves a favor. Anyway, let's jump into the first kahuna, and that's Mallow, the grass type specialist. She's not only an island kahuna, but also a top-notch Alolan chef that has even been given the nickname Jungle Chef, using her knowledge of herbs and plants to cook up and enhancements for her grass-type Pokemon, which means this battle is not going to be a walk in the park or jungle. She's got a Trevenant, an Alolan Executor, Leafeon, Lurantis, and her ace, Serena, which is a very fitting team when you think about it. Next elemental kahuna is the fire-type specialist, Kioe. He's a top-notch performer and dancer and can dazzle and mesmerize many spectators. But he doesn't do this just for fun. He performs his fiery movements in order to mirror his own fire-type Pokemon and further enhance the bonds they share. His team consists of a Talonflame, an Alolan Marowak, Flareon, Salazzle, and his ace Turtonator. 2 down and 2 to go. Next up is the water-type specialist, Kahuna Lana, who is calm and relaxed most of the time, but can quickly become a force of nature when a challenge arises, reflecting much like the ocean that she so often adores. Her team consists of a Toxapex, Bruxish, a Wishy-Washy, a Milotic, and her ace Araquanid, which brings us to our final island kahuna, and that's Ilima, the normal-type specialist, and he's known as the Alolan Prodigy, which is extremely fitting considering he's the final kahuna that you need to challenge. He's a master strategist with his top-notch skills in battle, and the tactics he employs with his normal types will amaze any challenger. He does this with a team of Gumshoos, Toucanon, Smeargle, Oranguru, and his ace Drampa, often setting up Trick Room with his Oranguru before switching out and destroying challengers with his ace. And that's just one of the many tricks he's got up his sleeves. You can't be stopped because you're trying to be the Alolan's #1 Pokemon trainer, which means your next challenge is up against the champion of this wacky reversed region, and that's going to be Gladion. And he's a mixed specialist, not picking any one type, and his team consists of a Lycanroc, Duskform, Oregon Z, a Crobat, a Lucario, a Weavile, and his ace Silvally, which can be any of the typings due to the RKS system. So good luck with that, RNG. And now time for the super secret extra bit of content I promised you earlier. Gladion turns out to be the false champion, so to speak, and there's still one more real final boss, and they reveal themselves to be none other than this wacky guy, Fico, the captain of the Ultra Recon Squad, and he's trying to fix the reversed region. However, he wants to do this by erasing it entirely in order to fix the timeline, and it's up to you to stop him and make sure you save everyone, even if they aren't from the original timeline. Anyway, Captain Fico's team consists of, yup, you guessed it, nothing but Ultra Beasts. He's got a Celesteela, a Xurkitree, Buzzwole, Kartana, Guzzlord, and his ace Naganadel. Good luck with this one. The world is counting on you. No pressure or anything. And there you have it. That's Alola in reverse, which I had a total blast with, and I can't wait to check out the next region in reverse, and yup, it's none other than Galar itself. As always, if you enjoyed, be sure to like, subscribe, and check out my other videos on the channel. Something tells me you won't be disappointed. Thanks for watching. Check out this video next, and see you soon. Bye.